Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Don't Risk It podcast presented by VFIS Client Risk Solutions. This program focuses on the exposures our clients frequently encounter and discusses some potential solutions to help reduce these exposures. I'm your host, Chris Rodgers with VFIS Client Risk Solutions, and today we're revisiting driver monitoring systems in emergency services. Joining me on the program today is Deputy Chief Scott Henry from Southern Area Fire and Emergency Rescue in York, Pennsylvania. Chief Henry is joining us today to discuss how his department implemented the systems into their fleet and the successes of the program. Chief Henry, I want to thank you for joining me today, and it's a pleasure to have you on the program.
It's a pleasure to be here, Chris.
Again, thank you for joining us. So can you give us a background of Safer York and a little bit of information about yourself?
Safer's a combined department originated in 2020. It's a merger between Dallastown, Yo, and York-Anna fire departments. We cover the Dallastown, Yo, York-Anna, York Township, and Windsor Township, as well as Lower Windsor Township.
And so what's your role with the organization there?
I'm the deputy fire chief there. I oversee the department's operations.
So it's my understanding that, are you all fire and EMS or fire exclusively?
Fire exclusively.
So it's my understanding that you all have driver monitoring systems in your fleet. Oftentimes we typically only see them, or not only see them, but it's a fire EMS or EMS only. It's not often that we see strictly fire-based departments that have driver monitoring systems. So what made your department decide to implement those systems into the fleet?
We've actually had driver monitoring systems for several years. And recently we upgraded them to a very new platform that is cloud-based and interactive real-time. In lieu of recent fire truck crashes that have occurred in this area, we wanted to be able to stay on top of how our members were operating our apparatus, as well as real-time stream data from our vehicles. The system that we bought not only monitors our drivers, but monitors our vehicles and lets us know whether they're being used outside of their parameters.
So does the individual driver fob in, or is it monitoring the truck?
When you initially set up the system that we purchased, there's two options. You can use an AI system to use facial recognition to detect the driver that's getting in, or the drivers can each select the vehicle and set themselves up in it.
It's an easy way to identify the individual drivers. The reason I ask is because some systems just monitor the truck as a whole, and if you don't have defined engineer operators, then it might not be easy to identify which driver that you're monitoring.
Correct. This system it's actually very smart. The AI software we use a system called Samsara. The AI software that they've developed with it is pretty high tech. Has facial recognition features. You log in the first time. It does facial recognition on the driver. They confirm yes, it's indeed me. And from that point moving forward, it recognizes the driver every time it gets in. And
well, it's taken that step away from having to give fobs or assign fobs to everyone leveraging AI. I think every industry is probably leveraging AI, so I'm sure the fobs are probably going away, and most systems are integrating that AI component to identify the drivers versus a physical medium.
Correct. And we're also a combination department, so two of our three departments have career staff during the daytime hours. Our career staff now, they do log into it every day. They do a truck check, a vehicle safety check with it. They physically log in when they get into the piece of apparatus in the morning and do their vehicle safety check on it. So
does your system include, is it video only, or is it telemetry data as well? Hard brakes, rapid acceleration, things like that?
It's both. It monitors speed, hard braking, hard turns. It monitors cell phone usage. It can see if you're distracted driving. It monitors drowsy driving. it's actually a very intelligent system.
So you're not getting paralysis by analysis by getting triggered events, because sometimes that's a I guess, for lack of a better phrase, a drawback of the system is you have to set it up right, because if you get so many, alerts each day that sometimes you might not pay attention to them. So you gotta make sure that the system is set up to fit your department to get the most use out of it.
Correct. And so that was part of the growing pains the first, I would say probably the month of using it, as the AI recognizes the individual and you set the parameters for your department, what you'll tolerate and not tolerate. The first couple infractions it sends you, you say, yes, this is an infraction. No, it's not. As the AI learns the individual and learns the habits of that person, like I may look at the computer screen a certain way and it thinks, oh, you're looking at your cell phone, but I'm actually reading the update from the 911 center. It knows the difference between me looking at that information or reading my cell phone. It knows the difference between me looking to clear an intersection or me looking at the cell phone. As it learns that information, it stops sending me the alerts that I was doing distracted driving.
Nice. So you get a lot at first, but it works its way to figure out how you want to use it. So to echo on that, what are some of the obstacles that you did experience in implementing the program, and how did you all overcome those?
The biggest hurdles were getting people to remember to log into it, to do their checks, and that first month of all the nuisance alerts, until we got all the kinks worked out of, like the low budget parameter. Somebody turned too fast. Somebody came up too quick on a light, and the computer thought they were hard braking, but they actually weren't. Outside of that, there wasn't a lot of challenges. Like the system is very smart compared to the antiquated system we had previously. I mean, it's actually been very beneficial and pretty easygoing.
What about the crews? Did they feel like Big Brother was looking over their shoulder, or did you have to have some conversations with them, letting them know, why we put this in place?
So that's still an ongoing process. Most have been very receptive. Some still feel as though Big Brother's watching, and it did what it was supposed to do, though. It put people in check. It cut down the excessive speeding, the kind of, I don't want to say careless driving, but some of the erratic driving that was occurring. Obviously, we're emergency vehicles. We do drive different than the normal flow of traffic, but some of the behaviors that were occurring are no longer occurring, and that was the goal. At the end of the day, we didn't do anybody any justice if we didn't get there safe and get back safe. So
yeah, you didn't want to create two calls out of one, but
correct,
because we weren't driving safe. So can you kind of, you talked about it earlier, can you describe the experience just prior to implementation of the systems and what changes that you've seen in driver behavior afterwards?
Sure. So we had complaints from varying places, general public, other departments, members of our own department, some of our drivers, excessive speed, maybe the way they were taking intersections, the way they were clearing traffic. It was unsettling, and in lieu of some recent infractions with other departments in the area, we didn't want to be a headline in a newspaper column. We started looking at ways to monitor it a little closely, and the camera system that we had previously was 15 years outdated. So we set out on a mission to find something that was more updated, could give us real-time data, and could also not only catch a problem, but also clear us in the event of an issue. Because that was the other problem. We had complaints that oh, this was happening and that was happening, but our other camera system was failing and we couldn't always prove or disprove an issue because we didn't have the ability to pull back the camera footage.
So you could use it as not only as a tool of ongoing and actively monitoring, but retroactively in doing an investigation of some type of either if it was an accident or a complaint lodged by someone from the public or whoever it may be.
Correct.
So if there is an infraction, how is the review process handled?
So every time an incident occurs that's within the parameters that we've set, myself, the fire chief, and the president, we all get alerts immediately to our inbox. If it doesn't involve me, myself, the president, or the fire chief, one of us will review the incident, determine if it's legitimate. If it is, we'll determine if it's a coaching scenario, like, hey, here's what happened, let's not do this again. Or if it needs to be a more progressive sit down written warning or a suspension type from driving violation.
So is it strictly used as a, lack of a better phrase again, punitive type or training type scenario, or do y'all have an incentive program built into it for those drivers who do perform well?
No, there absolutely, there's benefits too. If so this particular camera system keeps a score. So guys that go through again, this has only been in play for about 7, almost 8 months. So if you go through the entire year, no infractions, no marks on your record, there's definitely a incentive for you at the end of the year.
That kind of battles some of that big brother mentality that
Correct.
They feel like that we're not just strictly looking at punitive. We're going to reward the people that are that are doing well. And if you need some improvement, that's what the system's for, because these trucks aren't getting any cheaper and we can't get them any quicker. So
right.
So let's keep them on the road. Well, one thing that we often recommend is, to departments when they put a system in place is don't just focus on the engines, tenders, ladder trucks, things like that. Is also to focus on the command trucks. So what happens if a chief has an infraction?
So the chief has an infraction. The president reviews all of the chief's infractions. He's not any different than the rest of us. His infractions are dealt with on a disciplinary level from the president up through the board of directors, and he stands to have the same disciplinary measures the rest of us do. His vehicle has a camera, just like my command vehicle. All of the vehicles in our fleet have cameras, so nobody's above that.
And it's certainly important to point that out to the crews to let them know that it's not just you. We're all part of this system that's being monitored, and so we're going to be held to the same standard.
And they're aware. I mean, to be quite honest, that's where 95% of our infractions come from. So,
well, it sounds like the crews have bought into it, and now we got to work on the chiefs.
Correct.
Well, Chief Henry, it was a pleasure to have you on the program today. I thank you for your time and explaining the system that you all have in place. We're very, very big advocates of driver monitoring systems for all the reasons you explained. And so I thank you for hopping on and supporting, the message that we preach.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
And I want to thank you for listening to the program and for your interest in VFIS safety resources. I want to thank Deputy Chief Henry once again for his time and information. Please consider subscribing to the program to stay up to date on new content releases. Also, if you like what you've heard, please consider leaving a review below. For more information about the many resources available from VFIS, please visit VFIS.com. And to submit ideas for future discussions, please reach out by emailing VFISriskcontrol@VFIS.com. Thanks, everyone, and have a great day. The views, information, or opinions expressed during this program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of Gladfelter Insurance Group, VFIS, and its employees.